with one more Democrat likely being elected in the Arizona special election in the next day, that means that things like funding the government, those sort of contentious votes, are going to be more difficult for the Republicans, going forward. That margin that the Republicans have in the House keeps getting narrower. And of course, right now, in terms of funding it, we turn to the Senate, where the Republicans presumably have to work with the Democrats because they need 7 of their votes. But Donald Trump, he has a different sort of strategy. He released this opus, this novella. I read fantasy novels for fun, and ain't nobody got time for that, Trump. Dear God, can you learn how to edit things down? I want to run that through ChatGPT. I'm not generally big on AI, but if it can lower the word count. Anyway, he's basically saying don't work with them at all because they're insane. And here are a couple of the choice bits. He says, I have decided that no meeting with their congressional leaders could be productive. They are threatening to shut down the government unless they can have over $1 trillion in new spending to continue free healthcare for illegal aliens, a monumental cost. I apologize to TD, I'm gonna pause every once in a while. What's the $1 trillion in new spending? It's the $1 trillion they literally just cut from Medicaid. It's not $1 trillion for aliens or whatever. It's the spending they just cut. See how this works? They cut that spending and then they imply that if we went back to the status quo of literally 3 months ago, well, that's crazy. That's so irresponsible. They want to force taxpayers to fund transgender surgery for minors. That's not a thing. Have dead people in Medicaid rolls, again, not a thing. Allow illegal alien criminals to steal billions of dollars in American taxpayer benefits. That does not actually exist. And those undocumented migrants actually pay into a system the benefits of which they do not have access to. They help to subsidize those benefits for American citizens. And then he decides, I need something more. I know I already covered trans panic, but I'm gonna go back to the trans stuff. They wanna try to force our country to have open borders, allow men to play in women's sports, and essentially create transgender operations for everybody. And look, MAGA, if there's anybody MAGA watching this, if you are so far gone at this point, if your brain has been so puddingified by right-wing media that you believe when they use a thing like transgender for everybody, if you think that that is based on literally anything, I just wish you would just go watch Matlock, man. Stop paying attention to politics. It has never served your interests. Your vote is not gonna be helpful for the future of America. Transgender people are like between 1 in 1,000 and 1 in 100 in America. Okay, they are an aggrieved minority, which has been disproportionately targeted not only by the federal government, not only by social media, not only by right-wing media, but also by state legislatures to the tune of literally hundreds of laws trying to push them into the shadows. But aside from that, they have asked for basically nothing. They have been given basically nothing. The idea that they are everything that is American politics, and you can be so easily conned into supporting things like your Medicaid being defunded. Because trans for everybody, you gotta wake up, man. Maybe I'll use a different term. I don't wanna make you think of woke or whatever. It's another buzzword, another trigger thing. But my God, you are being so easily conned, Viviana. What do you think?
I'm so tired, John. I'm so tired because this is the distractions that I'm talking about. They'll find one story that seems, outlandish, and then they'll really put all their fire towards it. And then, and I have members of my own family. Well, what about this? Well, they're giving books to children in school to tell them about this and then, and it's like, show me, where did you get this information? They can never provide it. Yeah. And perhaps there's one case that something like this did happen regarding undocumented people. One case about a child receiving, I don't know, some sort of necessary health care to be associated with their transgender, identification. And it's used and blown up beyond belief. And everybody just gets so shaken up by it. And you're talking to MAGA people, and I think we should try to talk to them. Right now, there's a lot of hate and anger and division. And I try to remind everybody that this is a class thing they're trying to divide. And they make it a culture war. They make it about transgender or undocumented people. But at the end of the day, these MAGA people who think they're against us or they're against transgender, we're all in the same boat. We're gonna all have to start being woke now that they love the word. And we're gonna have to start realizing that you're just the same under attack as a transgender person, 1 in 100, 1 in 1,000. I'm exhausted. Sorry, my camera.
It is the one thing people need to understand about American politics is that they use this stuff to get poor people to support policies that screw them over. That has been the story of America from the very beginning. The thing that they focus on changes the ranking of it or whatever. Sometimes it's more racism, sometimes it's more like anti-immigrant xenophobia, sometimes it's transgender, whatever. But like that's all it is, okay? The president is doing so explicitly. I'm not gonna name names of members of the media who are now MLK or whatever that did the exact same thing, but that's what their job is. It's to get people to support economic policies that screw them over by distracting them with identity politics. The myth that the media allowed to perpetuate that it's the left that's obsessed with identity politics is like the most vicious lie in American history, I think, when it is the right that has done it from the very beginning.